continue our proceedings? With the
Yes, Mr. Chair, we are ready to proceed. The witness is
in,
being
please.
brought into the hearing room. Please be seated, Mr. Jatta. Welcome back, Mr. Jatta.
Thank you.
May I remind you that you're still under oath?
Okay.
And again, I just want to reinforce the point that this is a very serious exercise. We both have to exercise the discipline of answering questions and giving one another the opportunity to speak when we need to speak.
Okay.
So the protocol is that while I am speaking, you allow me to finish.
Good.
And then give me 3 seconds after I finish before you start speaking. I'll also do the same so that our speeches would not overlap. And also in the interest of time, we should, or you should make an effort to answer questions more directly. Of course, I do understand that not every question would require a yes or no answer. Sometimes you need some qualification. And certain issues you may need to explain them. And if you have to explain them, we would have to be fair to you and give you the opportunity to explain yourself.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, what is required is to have an answer to the questions that have been asked. Because it is only that way the Commission would receive the information that it needs, the evidence that it requires in order to carry out its mandate. Are we together?
Yeah, yes, we are together.
And we have had some long back and forth on the last subject. In the end, you gave the answer that the training exercise was a failure. But just to recap on some of the issues you mentioned, because I am doing this because I want the record to reflect exactly what your point is. I mean, all your answers. You did indicate that the Nigerians were successful in restructuring and reorganizing the army. That was a success you claim, right?
That's right.
Good. And you also agreed that, well, in some respects, the Nigerians were very competent, but in others, they were very incompetent. Does that reflect what you said?
That's right.
Okay. You also agreed that the training exercise in Kudang was a failure.
Was a failure.
Correct. And then the final point you made was that the training exercise in Kudang created a platform for coup d'etat.
Yes.
So does that really reflect
failure?
Yes. Does that really reflect everything you wanted to say about that particular topic?
Well, unless you want me to add.
No, I want you to be satisfied that the answers you wanted to give are now on the record.
That's right.
You're satisfied?
I'm satisfied with that.
Thank you very much. So now let us proceed and move on to July 22nd coup d'etat. Perhaps before we go to July 22nd, let's start with July 21st. Tell us what you know about that.
Good. On July 21st, as I said earlier on, I was a staff officer at the Army headquarters. Then it was the Army. It was the Army headquarters. I was a staff 2 grade officer. I was a major. I was under admin and quartermaster under Colonel Akoji.
At this stage, who was the commander of the Gambia National Army?
It used to be Brigadier General Abubakar Dada. But on this particular day, the guy was out, he was no more the commander.
Who was the commander at this stage?
Colonel Guadabe, an incoming commander.
Interesting way of putting it.
Okay.
And I'll ask follow-up questions on that. You said Dada was no longer the commander. Guadebe was the incoming commander.
Yes.
Can you explain that situation?
It happened that after 2 years, a new commander was appointed to the Gambia to take over from Brigadier General Abubakar Dada, and this commander was Colonel Lawal Guadabe. When he came, they were there going up and down. Towards the end, we sensed there were some problems.
What were the problems?
Guadabe will come and call the member of the NATAC team at the headquarters. There, some come from Yundum, to the conference hall. They will communicate in their language, and we sensed that something was not going all right. Towards the end, we got to know what happened. Dada said Guadabe is going to be the new commander, but he expects from the Gambia government something to say, thank you very much, please hand over to Guadabe. It never happened. So when Dada briefs NETAC, he gives us back the following day at our conference hall there in headquarters. Guadabe will come, but they will communicate in their language. We don't know what they were saying, but we sense that something was going terribly wrong. It was obvious.
Let me try to find out what happened. Dada was removed. He would not relinquish power unless Gambia government says, thank you, your services are no longer required.
Please hand over to Dada.
Please
Guadabe.
hand over to Guadabe.
Yes, please.
Guadabe was trying to assert authority, even though Dada has not yet relinquished power.
That's it.
That was the situation.
That was the situation.
Proceed, please.
So there was a gap, a command gap.
A command gap. What do
Yes.
you mean by a command gap? This is very important.
There is no commander as at now, at that moment.
In fact, you were saying there was de jure commander, but there was no de facto commander.
De facto commander, yes. Because Dada was not really, Dada was a brigadier general. This other one was a colonel, so Dada was a little bit senior to him. But then he has to do it by all means. I think it was clarified, and he has to do it later. By the time Guadabe was to take over, he decided to travel back to Nigeria with Joe Awonobi.
Could you say that again?
He traveled to Nigeria with the Colonel GS, Joseph Awonobi.
What is Colonel GS?
He's the one in charge of operations. So in their absence, 11 November came. Sorry,
11.
July 22nd.
We would get to 11 November.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
so
rush.
persistent. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
So that PAM you just mentioned
Yes.
is what I want you to explain.
Yes. That's what I said. On that day, that was when the July 22nd came in. Akoji was left to battle or to control things as this coup d'etat came from subalterns, subaltern officers.
What is that word?
Subaltern means any rank below the captain.
Okay. Okay. How do you spell that for the record?
SUBERLTANT.
Maybe you should write it down, and later we will put it in the record.
For so. Huh? Yeah. It's
subaltern.
Subaltern.
Okay. SUBALTERN.
NT.
Huh?
So NT. Didn't you have a T there?
I don't know the word.
Subaltern.
I don't know the word, so.
Go into the dictionary, see what's
okay. Later
We'll
you
deal with
provide
that.
us with the
Yes,
correct spelling
yes.
of the word, and we would put it in the record. We are developing a glossary of terms.
Yes.
These military ones are a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have Colonel Akoji, who is the de jure commander of the. Excuse me, Colonel Lawal Guadebe, the jure commander of the Gambia Armed Forces. He has, at the time he was to take over, effectively as commander, he traveled to Nigeria with Colonel GS.
Yes.
That's your testimony.
That's right.
Okay. What is the impact of that on the state of affairs of the army at that time?
In the army, we define command as the opinion of the most senior commander on the ground.
Opinion of the most senior person
commander
on the ground?
Yes.
Or the authority of the most senior person on the ground?
Yes, all the same.
Okay,
opinion or authority of the most senior commander.
Thank you.
So we need to have somebody, because every day is decision making. Now, Akoji was the acting commander. He was left behind to take charge of the army. Then, July 22nd came. But we knew the matter was being investigated by the NIA, because I think because of complacency or delayance in the investigation, things started aggravating. We know about the searching at the airport. But sometimes I am still trying to find out what happened. When the Guard of Honor was moved from the former gendarmes to the army, I was the one at the airport for 3 months. But here are some procedures. At the old airport terminal, at the old terminal, you know there's an old terminal when you come in back from the back. If the president fail to arrive on time, you release the guys to go, to relax anywhere within the premises. But by the time you assemble, you need to inspect those weapons again. No matter even if you inspect them in Yundum, you need to inspect them again, because they've left your location and they've gone to somewhere. And it is obvious that being in possession of a single round of ammunition is a court-martial offense. You are warned, we were being warned every day while we are on the Guard of Honor. But this time around, I don't know what happened. I was away. They started searching at the airport, has caused some problems, because already the investigations were on that there's a coup in the making. But for us,
why do you think there was this search at the airport?
It was out of fear or suspicion that
of
some
what?
of them,
suspicion
the soldiers,
of what?
Some of the soldiers may attempt to assassinate the president because they have arms. You know, arms is fear. In fact, I called, who was it? Babagale, to tell you people, you were in Yundum yesterday. You would have taken the opportunity to see these weapons. AK-47, LMG, 50mm caliber, RPG. That was a best moment.
Mr. Jata, that is a very good advice to Mr. Jallo.
Good.
But for now, you are testifying.
Okay, I'm distracting you.
Yes, let's stick to the issues.
So when these rumors was going on, the suspect that these people could have been in possession of ammunition. So they need to search them. They were searched, it did not go on well.
How were you aware of that?
I get to know it the following day later that searching happened.
So the following day, July 22nd, you came to the understanding that the soldiers who went to the airport to perform the Guard of Honor were searched.
Yes.
Their weapons were searched.
Yes.
And your understanding is there was suspicion that they wanted to assassinate the president.
Yes.
That is the information you received. Could you tell us how you came about that information?
I had this. You know, July 2nd was the takeover. When it happened, some of the soldiers who were on the Guard of Honor,
they told you this?
They told me that there was suspicion that they have to search us because for fear of carrying any ammunition and doing anything wrong to the president.
So, in a sense, on the 21st of July 1994, you did not have any information about what happened at the airport?
No.
Okay. Now you came about that information on the 22nd July?
Yes.
Okay. Now tell us what happened on that day from when you woke up to go to work.
Good. I was at the headquarters. I had malaria. I was privy to catch one of the utility vehicle going to Yundum. I decided to go to Yundum to have this inspection, malaria test and so on. I went to Yundum, I was positive. But by the time I was waiting on the vehicle to come back, it was almost late. So when I reached the headquarters, I think there was nobody.
At Yundum,
Health MRS.
at Yundum, did they take any decision as to your daily work routine?
No, Yundum, I just want to test my blood sample, give them my blood sample, and test whether I have malaria.
And did they, when upon discovery that you had malaria, did they make a decision as to what you should do?
They gave me say a week's ED, excuse duty.
And who did the certificate for you?
The medic at Yundum, I can't remember who, but I know that I have an excuse duty.
You can't remember the name of the person?
No, I can't remember.
In your statement, you said the certificate was given to you by a Babukar Njai, alias Njai Ponkal. That's what you have in your statement. Do you want to change that?
No, that was serious error. I don't know Njai Ponkal at that moment. It was Malik Njai, Pacha.
You may have made a mistake, but let's correct it.
I have rectified that. Please.
Yes, that's right. So let's say it was Dr. Malik Njai.
Yes, we call him Pacha.
Pacha.
Maybe that Pacha they thought is Ponkal.
Who was a major at the time, gave you the excuse duty?
It was his boys.
His boys?
Yes, and I have to confirm it with doctor.
Okay, thank you very much. And from there, what did you do?
I came back to the headquarters. Everybody has gone home. Then I found my way back. Then the following day morning, I need to show my boss this paper. He was Colonel Akoji. Then I decided to travel to Banjul. You know, we go by commercial vehicles. So, as I was going to Banjul.
You were major by rank?
Yes, I was a major.
You did not have a car?
No.
Okay, thank you.
And a car was never being provided for senior officers. So, I joined the commercial vehicle. At Denton, as we approached Denton Bridge, we saw this kind of commotion down there, vehicles making U-turn, going back to Serekunda and so on. I dropped from that vehicle, walked forward to the front, and I met some soldiers. I can remember one soldier called Bangura. I don't know where he is right now. So I asked him, I said, what's going on? He said, well, is this exercise going on? You know, on that day, that was the day we were supposed to have this exercise with the Americans on Lamont County. He said, we were heading for this exercise and we are blocked at the bridge by the TSG.
Did you have a role to play in that exercise?
I have finished playing a role because what I have to do there was with Colonel Akoji, we were in charge of admin. We supplied one infantry battalion, that the unit providing with the platoon with uniforms, good boots, good dress, water bottles, and so on. Now, all that we have to get is that, what do you need next? We did that as soon as possible. So we are finished. Any other things would be from the battalion commander down to the headquarters.
When you received that information that the gendarme had blocked the bridge, how did you feel about that?
Well, I was a little bit puzzled. I said, why should this happen? But I said, let me move forward a little bit to find out what really must have been the problem. When I moved from, I got this. And all of a sudden, what I saw this, our Renault 21 with Captain Kambi. He was driving that vehicle at that moment. It's a utility vehicle at the headquarters. So while they were turning, I caught them at the other side of the road. I went across and stopped them. There was Kambi, Mamad Cham, Kinte, and whoever, those other ones I forgot. So I told them, please, you have to squeeze me here. So they squeezed me in.
At this stage, you said you were going ahead to find out.
Yes.
Did you, in fact, try to find out?
Yes, I met some soldiers. They were not, but Mamad Cham confirmed to me that these are coup plotters.
Let us talk about what you found out from the soldiers.
They were on the ground.
What, if anything, did they tell you?
They told me that they were being blocked by the TRRC. That was it. And I asked, who is in charge here? They said, Lieutenant Edward Singati. I said, where's Tim? They said, he's at the brick down there. I said, what is he doing there? They said they don't know what he was doing there. Then I saw this Muhammad Chairman orders. I went across, stopped them, and I said, this is what's going on. Chairman told me that these are coup plotters. I said, what? He said, coup plotters. I said, so where are you heading to? He said, we are going to Akoji's place. At least he was the commander, acting commander. I said, please squeeze me up. So they squeezed me. We went to Akoji's residence via Fajara.
Okay, let's try to get the scenario.
Okay.
At the bridge or near the bridge, you were told that Sub-Lieutenant Edward Singate was in charge, and these were coup plotters.
Initially, no, they said that these are people on exercises. It was Muhammad Cham who confirmed to me that they were coup plotters.
Yes.
When
So before you got into that vehicle, you knew that Sub-Lieutenant Edward Singate was in charge of the army, of the soldiers who were at the bridge.
The platoon.
And that's a platoon at the bridge, and they were trying to stage a coup.
No, not until when I was in the vehicle.
By the time you got into the vehicle, you got that information,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
And your rank was major. Mohammed Cham, what was his rank at the time?
Captain.
Kambi, what was his rank at the time?
Captain.
Were there any other officers in the car?
I think Lieutenant Kinte, Alpha.
So, in essence, the person in charge at the bridge was several ranks your junior. Did you, the more senior officials, attempt to talk to them?
No.
Why not?
At that point in time, we expect a command decision at that level. Because these TSG officers did not come to the bridge to block by themselves, and they were just hanging on there.
So the question I have is,
Yes.
did you deem it necessary to talk to the officer and the men from the Gambia National Army who were at the bridge trying to stage a coup?
I talked to the men.
What did you say to them?
They said, I said, what's going on? They said,
you asked them questions.
yes.
But did you talk to them about what they were doing?
No. They said that the TSG blocked the bridge. They were on their way to the exercise.
The question is, did you talk to the men? You were their senior by several ranks.
Okay.
Did you talk to them about what they were doing? Did you tell them what they were doing was illegal? Did you tell them what they were doing was unlawful?
At that point in time, I did not talk to them because they were blocked. They said they are on the way. At that point in time, I don't know that it was a coup.
You have just been told by Captain Mamad Cham.
That is when we turned. When I got into the vehicle,
Yes.
we decided to go to the commander's place.
Yes, but before you went far from the bridge,
Okay.
you knew that this was a coup in the making, correct?
Yes, yes.
With that knowledge, did you or any of the officers you were with, who were by several ranks, senior to the most senior coupist at the time, at the bridge, did you deem it necessary to go back and talk to these junior officers and men about the illegality of their enterprise?
No, I didn't go there.
Why didn't you?
Because they would never accept it.
How do you know if you
I
did
did
not try?
it. But now the situation has changed.
You were just content to go to
Yes.
Akoje.
To find out.
Okay, tell us what happened after that.
Where we went by Fajara barracks, and we saw the soldiers at the gate. We proceeded to Akoji's place. When we reached at the Akoji's place, we met some Nigerian officers there. One of them was Lieutenant Saliuku from the training school. They were there talking in the normal dialect, discussing Akoji was going in, out of the bedroom. So he also confirmed that this was a coup. You know. But in most cases, here is one question you ask. That platoon was from 1 infantry battalion. And I believe if that's the case for them to leave the bridge, it should come from 1 infantry battalion. The battalion commander was a Nigerian. Davis was his deputy, Christopher Davis. They should have removed those men from that.
They should have removed who?
They should talk to those people to return from to leave the bridge. I hope you understand that.
Well, I am trying to.
Yes.
I realize that you are a senior officer. You are a captain. Sorry, a major in the Gambia Armed Forces. You were with Mamad Cham, who was a captain.
Yes.
You were with Ibrahim Akambi, who was also a captain. There was also a full lieutenant in the car.
Yeah.
All right? And none of you ventured to talk to the sub-lieutenant who was in charge of the troops at the bridge.
Yes. For the same reason, you see, in the military, it's a kind of mind your business. I know as senior officers we should have the privilege to talk to them. But here is a situation, up to that point in time, even the battalion commander at Yundum knows that there's a problem at the bridge. We expect 1 infantry battalion to recall their men because they belong to 1 infantry battalion.
Yeah, but what I am trying to drive at
I did not talk to them.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, please.
All right. So 1 infantry battalion also, as far as we know, they did not talk to them.
I should think so because they were there.
Okay, good. So you went to Colonel Akoji's house. Tell us what happened there.
Yeah, we sense that there's some little bit of communication going on of which we are not they are not prepared to tell us. So at the latter part, Akoji said, well, Jada, this is your country. I think we better go and find out what's going on.
But didn't they already know that this was a coup?
No, it was a coup. He told us that was a coup.
So why would he send you to go and find out what was going on?
Maybe
Only to find out that it was a coup?
No, he told us that's a coup. That was a coup, and he said you go and find out.
So he sent you to go and confirm that
maybe he doesn't want me to be there. That's what I saw, because I think before talking to Mamad Cham, at least he should talk to us. Talk to me as a major. But then we sense that they were not talking to, he was not talking to me, he was calling Mamad Cham. Maybe they are discussing something that the two of them know. At some level, I felt a little bit embarrassed sitting in their midst. Now he opened up this opportunity. I found my way out. And
you left?
I left. I said, I am going to find out.
Because you were sent to go and find out,
He
or
said
you
so.
did it voluntarily?
No, I did it on my own accord. I will leave that house, and I'm going to Banjul, and I'm going to the headquarters. And from the headquarters, I will know what was going on. Then halfway before I reached Senegambia, it's at Kirsering.
Did you leave alone?
No, I left after some time. Mamad Cham came running. He met me.
According to your statement, you did not make it as if it was your own decision. You were sent by Akoji together with Mamad Cham to go and find out.
For sure.
Is that the case?
That's the case.
Okay, good.
Yes, but behind the scenes, it's like we are not talking to. How can you send me when you don't want to talk to me? So when I left, Mamad Cham followed. We were in the vehicle. We took a taxi at Senegambia, heading to Banjul. The driver was panicking. I said, don't worry, we are in uniform, nothing will touch you. We went up to Quadrangle. There he dropped us. So we walked to the State House. We met the door locked.
What time did you arrive there?
This must be around after 12. Yeah. So we walked to the main gate. We knocked at the gate, they opened the door. And we entered. We said, we came to find out what's going on. They said, we have an officer here, Edward Singate, Lieutenant Edward Singate. I believe you must have been to the State House. You see where the mosque is. You know, there's a big tree there. Before you bend into the...
There was no mosque there at the time.
Yes, but now there was a mosque.
Okay.
Let's take that as a reference.
Right.
So when we reached there, Edward came and he met us there. He said, well, this is the situation. So Muhammad Cham was saying,
what did he say? What is
he
the
said that we have
situation?
taken, we are here, we have taken over the government. Muhammad Cham was telling him, how about the limbo? How about the limbo? I said, what limbo? So they conversed after some time. Edward told me that, why did you intend to charge Peter? I said, when? He said in front of me. I said, if he doesn't know, I'll charge him. This is where discipline started to get eroded, started going down. He left with Muhammad Cham and they left me there.
Did they send you away?
No, they left me standing there.
Hear the question.
Yes.
Did they tell you that you were not needed? Go
Yes.
back to headquarters.
No, they tell me, sorry, this is our show.
Did they tell you you were not needed there?
No, Edward did not tell me that.
Did they tell you to go back to headquarters?
No.
But they told you this was their show and they
Yes,
left
and they
you
left with
standing
Muhammad.
there.
He left with Muhammad. Edward left with Muhammad Cham.
How did you feel? Did you feel you were invited?
Puzzled, embarrassed. I was there standing there until the former Interior Minister, Usman Sonko, was then a sergeant. He came and he met me down there. He said, now what are you doing? He said, I'm going. He said, no, you stay. I said, no, let me pick up something at the headquarters, I'm coming. That's how I dodged them. I went to the headquarters. There were some files I left, folder. I came with my folder, trying to leave for home. I said, but halfway along the line, I said, look, I don't have to go home. Let me go to the Marines and see what's going on. If there's a vehicle, they can drop me, because at that time I was feeling a little bit tired. So I walked from the headquarters to the Marine. Then it wasn't the Navy's Marine. There I met Antuman Sao and I explained the situation to him. He said, look, I can't provide a vehicle for you right now. We are depending on one vehicle. But if there's a moment to go to Serekunda, I'll pick you and drop you. So I sat down there and we were discussing this problem. We talked at length. He said, well, they were here. I don't know what they had. They need. They don't have to come to my place. After all, I only had 40 men. The Marine was 40 men. So he sat down there with me. So waiting for a moment. We were there up till, I arrived there by what? 3 to 4, because I spent a long time at headquarters. Then around 1800 hours, a call came that we should all go to the State House, all officers. So Sao told his junior officers to stay behind, and I went with him. We went to the State House, up to the President's drawing room. There we met, Edward Singate was there. Yajame came and he met us there. Was Sadibu there? Sadibu. But anyway, Edward was there, Jamme was there. I assume Sadibu should be there. Then they said they'll call us for a meeting.
In your
the meeting,
in your statement, you said the following people were there.
Okay.
Lieutenant Yaya Jame, Second Lieutenant Edward Singate, Captain Samsudin Sar.
Good.
And
Thank
Captain Ndur Cham.
Yes, Ndur Cham.
Yes. That is what is correct, right?
Yes.
Okay, proceed,
Thank you. So the meeting started by 6 o'clock, let's say around 6. And Jamme said, well, we have taken over the country, and this is our show. We expect sanity. No other things, especially senior officers, don't make any attempt to try us. We are just warning people. Any attempt will be made by force. So he said, weapon. That's when he cocked the weapon. But then it was not loaded, no.
He threatened you, the junior
That was
officers,
a little bit of a threat, yes, for sure.
Who were present there.
Yes, for sure. That was a little bit of a threat.
Excuse me, he threatened the senior officers who were there.
Yes.
And you all subdued.
Subdue? Why won't we subdue? He has a weapon, we had nothing.
So you subdued?
For sure.
Good. What else did he say?
Yeah, that as I stated. So they will call us, they will tell us what they want.
Did he talk anything about monkey walk?
Monkey walk, baboon eat. He talked about that one. You are right.
What did he say about that? What did you understand him to mean?
We did the we suffered to reach this place. So we are not going to relinquish our achievement to anybody.
In a sense, he was addressing you senior officers.
Yes,
that,
his superiors.
Yes, that this is our prize. You are not going to take it away from us.
No, you can't, and you can't take it away.
That was the beginning of getting senior officers to subjugate. Is it
correct?
And subjugate, you all did.
We all did.
Thank you. And what happened after that?
I was a little bit tired. Then I said, look, I think I better leave. I've been here loitering the whole day, and I'm so tired that I need to leave for home. He himself said, you go, when you are okay, you can come back. I said, okay. So Ndurucham came down and arranged for a vehicle for me, so he picked me up, heading to Bakote. So on the way at Bond Road, where the Bond Road joins the main highway, we caught up with Sabali there.
Which Sabali?
Lieutenant Sana Sabali. So he stopped the vehicle and he said, Ndurucham, where are you going to? He said, I'm dropping Major Jata because he was not feeling all right. He said, but you should be at the meeting at the State House. He said, yes, I'm coming. He said, okay, you better do it fast.
Were you told that you were also needed at the meeting at State House?
Pardon me?
Were you, Major Babukar Jata at the time, also invited to the meeting at State House?
No, I should have been there, but I left.
The question is whether you were invited by Sana.
No, not Sana.
Ndurucham was informed that he should be at the meeting.
At the meeting.
And not you.
Not me.
Good. Thank you. Proceed, please.
Yes. So they brought me home. I was at home by Monday. I was able to recover. I reported back on Monday to the headquarters. As we were at the headquarters, this coincided with Jammeh visited the ministers at the NSS headquarters. So we all went there. We met OJ.
Who is we?
Pardon me?
Who do you mean when you said we?
Jammeh, Lieutenant Jammeh, chairman then. Sana Sabali was there. Edward Singate was there. They were going to the NSS headquarters to meet the former ministers who had been detained there. So I also followed to hear from them. Yes. So we went there. They were the one doing the talking. We were in the background, telling them that you have to calm. This is our soul, you know. Let's not create problems here and there. It was a good meeting they had. Then there we left. Edward saw me.
So by now, this coup has effectively succeeded?
Succeeded, for sure.
Okay. So Edward saw you, and then what happened?
He said, I will call you, but you go to the headquarters and occupy the admin and quartermaster office. I said, I've already occupied it already. He said, okay, now, your number one role is to assist these Nigerians to leave. Help them with any means of transportation to collect all their items and be prepared to, whenever there may be an aircraft to pick them, we know the Nigerians, they'll come.
At this stage, did anything come to your mind regarding the relationship between Captain Cham and the members of the junta?
Well, with the way they talk, they were in Yundum. They were all in Yundum. I think our engineering boss was Chris Davis, was appointed 2IC to the Nigerian battalion commander. And I think Baji or Ndurucham, no, Baji was also made a company commander. Ndurucham must have taught him. They were all in Yundum. But if you have to sense whether there's a relationship, there was a relationship, but I don't know how deep.
Tell us about the relationship.
Nur told me on the way to this place, we've been planning this for quite a long time. And I said, hey, Nur, I only hope we are not going through another process. I told him that I was in Nigeria. My second to last paper was professionalism in the Nigerian army. I almost ran into a problem with it when Omar Fai has to advise me that messed up everything so that you get a 0. I said, it's going to follow the same trend. He said, no, this one is going to be different. I said, okay, let's watch.
How about Mama Cham? How did you assess his conduct when the two of you were
Initially, I was very suspicious of Muhammad Cham. Honestly speaking, I felt he was part of them. Then why do you have to leave me there standing on my own and walk in with Edward? They were all smiling. Something was wrong there.
You suspected that Muhammad Cham was part of
the coup? He must have got some information about this. Or they may fall back to him to accommodate him. All is possible.
So on Monday,
yeah,
you returned to work. You accompanied Jame and his entourage to the GPMB premises, which hosted the NSS.
I did not accompany. It happened that they were on their way. I decided, out of interest, to follow them.
You followed them?
I just followed them, but they did not call me to come to that place.
That's right. And on your way back, Edward Singate gave you instructions.
Yes, he said, okay, now that you are back, we did not see you. I said, oh, I've recovered now. He said, you go to admin and quartermasters and occupy that office. I said, yes, Baji Sankare, Colonel Baji, the President Security Advisor, he said, he has sent me to that office now. I am occupying the office.
Okay. So at this stage, regardless of the shuffle that eventually followed, what was the hierarchy like among Gambian officers?
At the beginning of the coup?
Yes.
It was Colonel Mour Baji, then he was a captain. He was then acting.
Acting what?
Commander. Because instructions were coming to him.
No, I'm saying before Jame put his stamp of authority on the military, what was the hierarchy like? Oh,
it was like the Nigerians in charge. Gambians as second.
Remove the Nigerians from the equation. Okay. Who was the most senior Gambian officer?
On the ground. As at that moment, it was me.
So it was you?
Davis. Omar Fai was in America. Lai Conte was on vacation in America. And who else? I think those are the few ones we can remember.
Okay. So what happened to Davis?
He was arrested on Monday. On Monday. Because I left after talking to Singate in the morning. I left for Yundum to come check my blood again. Around telling me I met them loaded. Sabali loaded them in a single cabin or double cabin, heading to the prisons. Then I don't know where they were heading, but I saw Chris Davis behind the vehicle.
So essentially, Chris Davis was arrested and detained, correct?
Yes, he was arrested and detained.
Wilson?
Wilson was also arrested, but I ran that he was arrested at home.
But if he was arrested and also detained?
Detained, yes.
At Mile 2? At
Mile 2.
Okay. So of the senior officers, it was yourself,
left,
Baji, Mohamed Cham,
yes,
Ndur Cham,
Samsudin
Sar,
yes,
Malik Njai, Pacha.
Yes, Pacha, but Pacha was also detained, arrested and detained.
So ultimately, Samsudin Sar, Mohamed Cham, and Pacha were arrested and detained.
Yes.
Captain Kambi,
a day or two later, yeah.
Captain Kambi was also arrested and detained.
Later.
So that cleared the field for a complete change of the command structure of the army.
Yes. When Sabali then came when I was in Yundum, he came to pick Captain Lieutenant Bojang and Alaji Kante. So I went down and met him, I confront him. I said, no, you can't do this. You need these officers tomorrow. You're picking all of them and detaining them. Psychologically, I don't do that. It could be he will pick me too. He looked at me from top to bottom and he smiled. He said, okay, I'll go back. So he left.
Did he release them?
No, he did not pick them.
He did not pick them.
But Kante was picked later.
But how about the others who were detained?
Already I met up with them, taking them to Mile 2. He told me that they are all going to Mile 2.
Did you intercede for them?
I told him that we need these seniors as one day.
But not immediately.
No matter what. Immediately, we need them immediately.
Okay.
At that point in time, it was let me see. Towards the end, it was myself, Captain Koka, Captain Jara, Captain Pamodu An. We were the only people left. The rest are subalterns, second lieutenant. Second lieutenant, battalion commanders were second lieutenant. It was a big problem. And if this has to continue, picking these people.
So, who was made commander of the army at that time?
Baji remained there until 21 days later.
At what stage was he appointed?
Not an official letter. I've not
He
seen
was
that official.
delegated.
He was assigned to take over until when they could sort out things.
And he was your junior?
He was my junior.
How did it feel?
But appointment has precedence over rank.
How did it feel?
No, I don't feel bad. I thought that I was going out. They were just telling me to help him handle these Nigerians. When they left, they would talk to me.
And then what happened after that?
When the Nigerians left, we were called on a Monday. 21 days later, they said, "You are the commander. You want, yes, Colonel Baji, whatever you want to."
I don't understand.
They said, "Now, no more Baji. You are the commander."
So they removed Baji and designate you as commander of the Gambia National Army?
Yes, they said an official letter will follow.
With a promotion?
No.
So you remained the major?
I remained the major up
until when?
Yeah, just a minute. First of August. It was backdated to 1st of August.
When did you receive the letter?
On the 12th of August. 12th of August.
All right.
But then it was backdated.
Okay, good.
Yes, so, official.
Okay, so you became Lieutenant Colonel?
Not yet. Major. I still remain a major until...
Weren't you a major at the time of the coup?
I was a major.
So your promotion was to what rank?
Then on the backdated again, Lieutenant Colonel, backdated at the same time to the 1st of August.
Yes, so your appointment was to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel?
Yes.
Thank you, thank you. And soon after that, major events happened, November 11.
Correct.
Tell us about it.
But then before we talk about November 11...
Mr. Jata, just answer the questions. I think I know what we want to elicit from you, except if there is an explanation you must give.
Yes.
Okay, or by all means, then go ahead.
A little bit of preamble. Let's talk, we know about coup d'etats in Africa. We have seen coup d'etats in Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Ghana. Think of it. But when ours came, we say it's one with a difference. But then as time goes on, that difference couldn't be seen. 11 November was a terrible moment.
Just a moment.
Okay.
You said as time went on.
That difference,
would not be seen.
Was not seen.
What do you mean by that?
I will come to that. We said our slogan was a coup with a difference.
No, soldiers with a difference.
Sorry, soldiers with a difference. Sorry, yeah, soldiers with a coup with a difference.
Soldiers with a difference.
With a difference.
Before we talk about November 11, let's do it the way you want it. Members of the junta have ruled for about 4 or 5 months, right?
Before 11 November.
That's right.
Okay.
And during that period, they managed to secure the loyalty of most in the most sensitive sectors in Gambian society, correct?
So.
And those in the military, people in your position,
Correct.
showed complete loyalty to the government.
To the government, for sure.
That was in fact absolutely necessary for one to keep one's position, wasn't it?
Yes.
Those who showed any degree of disloyalty to the government, what happened to them?
Some of them got fired.
And the others?
Some got involved in a coup attempt.
No.
And
those
they got
who
killed.
demonstrated disloyalty to the government, what happened to them?
Some were out of the job.
Some were fired, correct?
Some were fired,
some were arrested and detained unlawfully.
Unlawfully, yeah.
And some were threatened.
Yes.
That was the state of affairs
yes,
at the time.
I'm coming. One of the characteristics of coup d'etat: job insecurity, precipitated retirement. They tend to impose themselves and transform themselves to civil rule. Suspicion, especially at the level of the head and the deputy. All this jumbled up.
And which meant that all players at the time had to be very careful.
Very careful.
You had to show loyalty to the junta.
To the junta.
You cannot afford any form of suspicion against you.
No.
In fact, in order to remain in position, you had to show your true colors.
You have to show your true colors. So is the case because they are always paranoid.
Good. And now let's talk about November 11.
Yes. It happens that on the 10th of November, I was called at around 12:01. I had a call from Edward Singate, Sana Sabali, and the DGNI. They said there are some problems at Yundu. I said, problems? They said, yes. I said, I'm not aware of it. They said, anyway, we are convening in Yundu. We are waiting until when you are ready. Then we are going to address these issues. It's a problem of a coup attempt in the making. I said, sure. He said, yes. Then, okay. Then I called the battalion commander, who was Captain Marong. Captain Marong is a lawyer by profession. I said, we are coming there with the junta.
At this stage, was Captain Marong the battalion commander?
Yes. Already we have removed Lieutenant Basiru Baro, and we had Captain Marong as the battalion commander.
Why was Basiru Baro removed?
I was told to remove him when he was an MTO, motor transport officer. So for me, I was struggling with him to put him through.
He was, Basiru Baro, was commanding officer at 1BN.
Yes.
Before the events surrounding November 11.
Yes.
You were told to remove him.
To remove him a month before.
Who told you to remove him?
Edward.
And what position did Edward occupy at the time?
He was the defense minister.
Did the Ministry of Defense have responsibility to determine the postings of military officers?
Because when I took over...
no, answer the question.
No.
Did the Ministry of Defense have responsibility to determine postings?
No.
Why did you do it?
Because they want him out. Initially, I said, I'm coming.
Mr. Jata, you're telling us that you were given instructions by somebody who did not have authority to give you those instructions. Why did you comply?
This is their authority for a reason.
I don't understand.
They did that for a reason.
We are not talking about the reasons. We are talking about you being ordered or given authority, giving instructions by someone who did not have the power to give those instructions. Why did you comply?
I'm obliged to comply because...
With an order
that
comes from someone who has no power to give you that order.
He has the power. He's the Minister of Defense.
No, but you just told us that as Minister of Defense, he did not have the authority to decide postings.
Yes, I'm coming. That's what I want, and I want to explain this matter.
Please go ahead.
When I took over initially, I intend to bring Barrow to the headquarters because he was an MTO. They told me that no, he has to remain as battalion commander. I said, but for what reason? We better take the infantry, those who are very conversant with what was going on at the battalion then, and then they said, no, this is our guy, leave him there. So I couldn't remove him. They turned around again and said, now
Okay.
remove him.
Let's take it step by step.
Mhm.
You thought Barrow was ill-fitted for the position that he occupied at the time,
Yes.
battalion commander.
Yes.
And in your abundant wisdom, as commander of the army, you wanted to move him to a position that was more suitable.
In the at the headquarters.
Yes or no?
Yes.
And that move was resisted by who?
By Edward.
And he did not have the authority to decide who
No.
would be posted where. And that was unlawful.
That was unlawful.
You complied with
And I
that
have to
unlawful
comply
instructions.
because they say he was their guy.
Okay. So you had to comply with that unlawful instruction.
Yes, for the simple reason because they thought only their loyal people will command.
Okay. But you knew it was wrong.
It was wrong.
You went along with it.
I told them.
Okay.
It's obey and complain.
Yes. But you are obeying somebody you should not even obey. You are taking instructions about postings from a person who has no authority to give those instructions.
Yes.
And that was, you think that was right on your part?
The person should be.
It's
not right.
Was it
It's
a
not
survival
right.
issue,
No.
or was it strict adherence to the rules?
It's not strict adherence to rule. It was a survival issue.
It was a survival
Yes.
issue. You did it because you wanted to keep your job.
Yes, job security.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So let's move on to the next. Later, they wanted to remove him, and you again received illegal instructions to remove him. And you complied with his removal, knowing very well that those instructions were unlawful.
Yes.
You did it this time around for what? Was it to keep your job or to do the right thing?
Just whatever you think it could be. That's it.
So I take it that you did it to keep your job because you wanted to ingratiate yourself with the junta, correct?
Okay.
Good. So now tell us what happened November 11. But before that, was this a modus operandi? We have talked about people having to satisfy the junta in order to keep their jobs. This was the way people operated at the time.
But at some level, you have to take your firm stand. The beginning was let me just explain. The beginning was difficult, and they were together with Barrow. So attempt to cross them would mean they themselves may be doing something that I may not like.
I really don't understand what you just
Yes,
said.
they were with Barrow. That investigation from onset before 1994, they were investigating even Barrow.
The question is, what you did, those decisions that were based solely on your desire to survive in the system,
Okay.
your desire to keep your job,
Yes.
was that a modus operandi? Was that what many people did in order to just stay in office?
I'm telling you, even some of those civilians appointed were telling Jammeh that God brought you. And these are intellectuals.
Okay, intellectuals were compliant,
Yes.
soldiers were compliant,
We need to comply. That's a system in place now.
everybody towed the line. They
Yes.
say march, everybody would march.
Halt. Everybody will halt.
Thank you very much. I like that. Life must have been good in the army, Babukar.
Yeah.
So then
That
came
was- yeah,
November
okay.
11.
Yes. Let me frame this.
We have to move on, Babukar.
I do understand. I like to put some little bit of explanation. You see, that's also good. Job insecurity is one thing. Here is an environment in which everybody looks forward to the central government for a livelihood. Once they got involved, people want to stay.
Again, once they got involved, what?
They would like to maintain their jobs.
Indeed. So did you.
So now here is the man who has been given the authority. Why do we have the offenses? There are two rules that govern the military. Rule number one says the boss is right. Rule number two says if the boss is wrong, refer to rule number one. The boss is right.
And
Why do you have to hustle?
Did you live faithfully by those rules?
Yes, I lived by those rules. What do we do?
Okay, good. No,
But as a commander, there's a time when you have to say no. Sorry.
Let us proceed. We have to advance, right?
All right.
So now let's talk about November 11th. On November 10th, you received a phone call from Sabali.
Yeah, Edward.
Explaining to you
Yes.
that there were problems at the Unum barracks, and you all decided to go there. Tell us what happened after that.
We went there for the meeting. Up to that time, they couldn't tell us what was going on.
I don't understand. Could you say it again?
Up to that time of the meeting, they couldn't tell us what really was going on, who was behind this alleged coup d'etat. And I questioned them. But you need to tell us what's going on so that we deal with this person once and for all. They said, no, let's go. We'll know later. They addressed the soldiers. We went there. There was a little bit of scuffle. Whether do we have to address officers separately and the men separately? I said, but under these circumstances, why can't we make it one? They said, no, they are going to address the men. I said, okay, fine. So they addressed the men. They said, we know what's going on. We are warning you. But now you are warning a person. What was going on, we don't know. I myself, as the commander, I don't know.
Of course you did. You were
I don't know. On that day.
You were told that a coup was in the making.
Yeah, but who is going to lead this coup is another thing.
Proceed.
Not so. So they made a talk. Edward has to fire 2 shots, said, don't allow this bullet to separate us. We are one. But Sabali's one was a little bit harsh. He said, if anybody gets up, this is what we are going to, we will fight you. So the boys felt betrayed.
Did he say, we will fight you or we will crush you?
It's all the same.
No, they are not.
Okay, we'll crush you. They said, we crush the rebellion. We fought to suppress them. Yeah, latter part, when they left, I sensed that this did not go well.
Before they left, they had a meeting with the seniors, with the officers.
No. There was no meeting with the seniors.
There was no meeting with the officers?
No. Officers meeting? We were there with the boys.
It was one meeting?
The officers were not there.
The officers were there? There was
like the battalion commandant's son. Yes, he has to be at the meeting. I mean the other ranks. Other officers. We were concentrating on the soldiers because arrangement was the following day if we had to go to Fajara barracks, then they will lump these 2 units, talk to their officers, converge at Fajara.
There was a meeting with Lieutenant Barrow?
On that day?
Yes. With Jibril Sey, with the other sub-lieutenants and lieutenants who were in the camp.
Okay.
No, you have to tell us whether that is true or that is false.
No, I did not witness that meeting.
Okay.
In my statement, I said we were supposed to converge at Fajara the following day.
Yes, but in your statement, let me read it out for you. It says, I think it was in paragraph 10, you say, Captain Savali said we should converge immediately at Jindum Barracks for a meeting with officers and men.
Yes.
By the afternoon towards evening, the meeting commenced first with the men, without the officers.
All right.
Confusion arose as to whether to meet the officers first prior to the meeting, but an executive decision was taken. So it means, from what I gathered in your statement, that first you met the men, and then you met the officers.
Could it be maybe?
But it's your statement. You tell us what happened.
It could be I missed that, but up to that point, they did not tell us who was the leader. Barrow was at the headquarters. This is why now when they said Barrow was there, we did not call Barrow to the headquarters, to the unit. Barrow was at the headquarters. You know. The unit commander there was Marong.
Perhaps I should just read this. Your statement went on to say, in paragraph 10, prior to departure, I called the battalion commander, Lieutenant Basiru Barrow.
I have rectified that one.
And yes,
It's on my statement.
you have
That's
made
not
that
one.
new correction.
Yeah, it was Barrow. Hey, sorry, Marong.
Marong.
Yeah, Marong. It was Marong.
And you talked to him about the need not to have a quarter guard.
Yes,
That's
because
right.
Sabali said he doesn't need a quarter guard.
All right. So the important thing here is there was a meeting at Yundum Barracks.
Okay. Yes, it has
And
happened.
the men were warned
Yes.
and informed that if they attempt to make a coup, they will be crushed.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. Some words were there.
Yes. And after that, what happened?
The meeting went into late in the evening, and we dispersed. As they left, I was behind. I told the commanding officer, I don't know who is this person planning this coup. The commanding officer said, I said, now let's pay attention. Whatever happened, let's maintain that line of communication. So I left to Banjul Ending. Huh? Yes, I was then residing at Banjul Ending.
And
Then, I never had anything again.
could you say that again?
I haven't had anything from them again. No noise, nothing. Then around 2 to 3, then I started hearing some shots from Yundu. I had some shots from Yundu.
In the interim,
Yes.
between the time you went home and the time you had the shots,
Yes.
did you see your orderly?
My dad oddly. I did not see my oddly.
We received testimony from Emelba. Do you know him?
I know he was my oddly.
He told the commission that sometime in the night, before midnight, he ran to your home at Banjulding to inform you that there was a problem in the camp.
I had a testimony. That boy was just a joke. I don't even have to point my finger to somebody and say, be my orderly.
Babukar, we are going into
Okay, I'm going off
something
track.
else.
This
The
boy
issue
did not
is
even appear before me.
he did not come to your house.
He did not come to my house. I would have alerted a lot of officers. He did not come. That man, he said, I'm even afraid of him.
Mr. Jata, let us not caricature people
Okay.
by calling them names or describing them in rather offensive ways. That is not to be encouraged. This is a serious process. Your testimony is that he did not come to your house.
I did not see that man.
The evidence we received is that he came to your house and he informed you that there were problems in the camp. You asked him to stay at your house. He decided to go back to the barracks. Are you saying that his testimony is false?
That is false. Why does he have to stay? If he has to stay, he has to come with a weapon to stay with me. If he comes and informs me that this thing was happening in the barracks, I would have called the barracks. I have the mobile. I have a Deccan receiver mobile. It's mobile. Those are the mobiles given to government have been tested. But I did not see this oddly.
Okay. So, at what stage did you know there was a problem in the barracks?
When shots started, that was around 2 to 3.
How did you come to know?
Firing at the Union barracks. We had the shots.
Of course, you know JCB Mendy, don't you?
Yes, I do know.
In fact, he's a brother to you.
What?
He's like a brother to you.
My father used to plow for these people. He's a Manjago Amejola.
So he too is lying?
I have not seen that man for the past 7 years. No, he has some aspects that one I knew. I listened to the testimony. He got some aspects, but
he is like a brother to you.
no. He never come to my place. I've never seen. My family would have known JCB Bani if he were a brother.
That does not mean that he's not like a brother to you.
What kind of brother? Blood brother or what?
No.
You are my brother too.
Yes, very
So it's
much,
like just like
very
that.
much so. And I have always treated you like one,
A brother, yes.
with respect.
Yeah, he called me a
with the
brother, but
dignity that you deserve.
the connection was in the past. Now
Yes, and
our
it is
parents-
the past that connects us together, isn't it?
Yes.
So he was like a brother to you. He
Okay,
treated you
okay.
like one. In
Okay.
fact, in his testimony here, he spoke favorably about you.
He must have seen, because during the course of the incident, I was always with Sabali, and he was always down in the front of the Nissan vehicle.
Yes.
He was an Otley also. I
Yes.
don't know whether
Yes,
security
but,
officer.
But regardless of his status at
Yes,
the time,
he's a brother.
he was like a brother to you.
Yes, yes.
That's right. He came to pick you up from your house, didn't he?
A convoy of Sabali's vehicle came to pick me up.
Was
could be
he
there.
involved in the convoy?
In the convoy, yes.
And his testimony is that he picked you up even before the gunfire started.
No way.
He too
If
is
that
lying.
is the case, if that's the case, I would have driven with my Tultika to Yundum. It was when the firing subsided. Sabali called me to pick me up.
JCB's testimony is that he picked you up
Before the firing.
before the firing.
That's not true.
And as you were about to enter the camp, then the firing started.
No.
That too is a lie.
That was a lie.
Okay, thank you very much. But
He picked me up
Okay, good.
after the firing subsided.
Okay.
But
All
there was firing also when I was in the camp. I think one of them was moved. I don't know what happened. They fired in that early morning. They fired two. That one I missed. That one to record. That one.
I don't understand.
After when I came, shots were also fired.
Can
But
you
we don't know
explain?
whom they are firing at. We don't know whom they are firing because it was dark. In my presence, 2 shots were fired. They said to them, they said it was Elef Jamme running.
Were you present there when they were shooting at the person they called LF Jame?
Yes, I was there. In the dark,
Yes.
on zero visibility.
So after that shooting, what did you see?
Then from there, somebody took me aside and briefed me of what has happened. Sabali.
At that stage, did you see that fall?
I did not see that fall, but they said they were in the cells. I saw.
But the issue here is the evidence we have received is that LF Jame, Dot Fall, Abdoulaye Dabo were in the same vehicle driven by Mafuji Sonko
Okay. Heading to where?
at Yindum Barracks. When
Okay.
the vehicle stopped, LF Jame ran away and he was being fired at.
Okay.
He escaped. Dotfall and the rest were apprehended. That's the evidence.
Okay.
You must have been present when Dotfall, Mafuji Sonko, and Abdoulaye Dabo, among others, were arrested.
No.
Then you could not have been there.
No. This was what they were telling us. I don't mean there. No, those 2 shots wasn't necessary because you don't know whom they were firing at.
No, you said.
Okay, then that's a slip of the tongue.
Or the slip of the brain.
Yeah, the brain. Call it the brain. But what I'm saying, I'm trying to say it here. It was when things subsided, when these people were arrested.
Mr. Jata, you testifying under oath. So
I
we
do.
should avoid slips of the tongue.
For sure.
And try to recollect events correctly. The evidence is that you were present when these people were arrested, when Dotfall was arrested.
That's not true.
Okay? That's your evidence. So
That was my evidence.
So you spoke to Sana Sabali. Tell us what he told you.
He took me to the side. He showed me a notebook, list of what Barrow has in plan.
But at least he would have told you what was happening, didn't he?
No, after that. We are coming to that. After showing me the book, he said, this now is clear that Barrow was the leader of this school. Barrow was, the leader of the coup, and he was arrested with Dotfall. And he mentioned who? Was it Elef Jamia? He gave me some names. I said, where are they? They said they are in the cells.
You talked about a list. Can you tell us more about that list?
The list contains Jammeh as the chairman, Sana Sabali, Edward, Haidara, Yanko Ture, and I was the last name. We are the people who are supposed to go to the range. To be taken to the range for execution. So, and he has a detail of all those who are to conduct the execution.
So you are suggesting that the plan of the coupist was that members of the junta and Babukar Jata were to be executed?
To be executed.
And they listed who was to do the execution?
Yes, in the notebook there are some names.
Was your name on that book in fact authentic?
It's a question mark.
Can you explain that?
My name was written in black pen.
And how about the other names?
They were in blue.
And what impression did that leave to you?
I felt that maybe they want me to be annoyed and be part of them.
Were you in fact annoyed?
I'm not.
Were you part of them?
I'm not part of them.
Okay. Then what happened next?
Then we went to meet Barrow. I said, can I talk to Barrow?
Do you go to meet Barrow, or was Barrow brought to you?
He was brought. You've been to the guard room yesterday, huh?
Just answer the question.
I went to meet Barrow, and they brought Barrow from the cells.
Okay, and then what happened?
And I said,
at this stage, what was Barrow's condition?
Oh, he was in a very bad situation.
Can you describe it?
His mouth was swollen, bleeding.
Could you describe it?
His mouth was swollen, and there was some bleeding also.
Did he appear beaten?
He was in a shot.
He was, I didn't ask about his clothing yet.
Okay.
Did he appear beaten?
Yes, he was beaten, for sure.
And he was stripped?
He was stripped.
What injuries did you observe on him?
It was not, it was a little bit dark, but the mouth was swollen.
And then what happened?
So I said, what was this? He couldn't even talk clearly. Sabala gave him one poke on the mouth.
Speak up, huh?
I said, but what's this? He just looked at me. But then he told me, the only thing I can hear from him was that, please help me. But then time, Sabali gave him one knock on the mouth and pushed him. It was like he pushed him back with a knock. Do you understand that?
I am trying to. The evidence is that you were angry with these guys for including you in the list of those to be executed. And that is why you went to confront Barrow.
They said Barrow was the leader.
Did you confront Barrow?
I did not confront Barrow on any question.
Did you ask him?
I asked him, Barrow, what is this?
You have to hear the question
you
before answer.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Babukar. Did you tell Barrow that so you people wanted to execute me?
No. I did not even have much time with Barrow. Because I know that there would be, if there were an investigation, that's where everything will come out.
So when you asked Barrow, what is this? You said Sana Sabali did what to him?
He punched and pushed him back.
Did he punch him or did he butt struck him?
No, he didn't butt, he punched him using his hand.
He punched him on
call it a punch. Call it a punch because it was physically a physical action.
Okay. And what happened to him after the punch?
He was dragged into the cell again.
Do you know what happened to Barrow's teeth?
At that point in time, I really don't know. But the mouth was swollen. And it was bleeding. And I sensed that something in that mouth was not correct.
But you did not know what?
Already, we know that the damage has been caused. Why should that mouth be swollen?
Okay. So what happened after that?
That was it. They said, now let's go to Fajara barracks. Some remnants were there.
So what time did you arrive at Yundum barracks?
I said between 2 to 3. 2 to 3.
Okay. And what time did you go to Fajara barracks?
We organized ourselves and left towards after 4 early morning, approximately. When we went to Fajara barracks, yes, we came by the back door.
Tell us the arrangement.
Yes. There we have some element from the State House, soldiers from the State House, and the orderlies of this minister Sabali, Edward, and who? Hydra, Yankuba, whom they are left behind. Yes.
Could you say that again?
Yankuba.
Yes. Who what?
I say, whom do I left behind?
Okay.
Leave behind? Nobody. We went to Yundum barracks. We came by Arsinama. So Sabali told me that, now we are the commander. Let's see what we can do with it.
Did you accept?
For sure.
Proceed, please.
He has to stay. I detail a section to him. He has
and
to
which
come.
section did you detail to him?
Of his own men, few men. A section of 8 to 9 men.
To do what?
We are going to assault Fajara barracks.
Okay.
He has to. You have been to Fajara barracks, not so?
I don't have to answer questions.
Oh, okay.
You answer the questions.
All
so
right.
tell us where you detailed him to go to at Fajara barracks.
At the back way by Newtown. There is a hospital. Those days, that hospital was not. That hospital was built for us by the Americans. Once we enter, he is to go to the back there towards the east, Bakau Newtown gate. Sorry, Kachikali. Going to the petrol station area. Edward will come straight on that road to the guard room there. Then Peter, I will command Peter. I'll be behind Peter.
So essentially, you designed the operations.
Yes.
All of them were answerable to you.
At that moment in time.
Your orders.
Then behind, Yankuba and Hydra has to maintain 2 sections. In the event we got defeated, we'll have that reinforcement. But more so, I was observing Peter. Because he's one I can tell.
You have a clear idea about this, right?
Okay, yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Peter. So we moved. As we reached the football field, we finished the accommodation. Peter has to move a little bit towards the training school, under the trees. Then that's when this machine gun started coming.
The machine gun started coming?
Firing.
Or the firing?
Firing.
Okay.
But all the shots were going up the tree down there. We took cover. They fired. They fired. So we had a wide range field of fire just to deceive them. This guy fired and the last one fired, and we were coming. But we were very mindful of one thing, the armory. It was there. Once shot into that armory, Baka will be in flames. But at the same time, I have my telephone number. Sabali has it. Tell them we try to call the guard room to tell the soldiers, go inside, we are coming.
Did you call anybody else?
The guard room.
Did you call anybody else apart from the guard room?
No.
Did you call State House?
No, I've never called State House throughout.
Did the people you were with call State House?
No, I've not seen them during the operations calling State House.
Did Sana instruct you to call State House?
He cannot instruct me because I have Jammeh's number. It was from there that it was blocked. I went through the keyboard. They said, no calls yet. It was blocked. So.
Sorry, I don't understand that.
I had Jammeh's number.
Yes. Did you call him?
During the daytime.
No, during that operation.
No. We have to finish with that operations.
Okay. Good.
I don't have to, because already Sabali was the most senior there.
But he can't instruct you That's what you said just a minute ago. So I
It
wrote
could
it
be,
down.
yes, yes. I have to do it better because I don't want any mistakes.
Okay, all right.
For the simple reason also, I am more tactical than those people. We want a clean job here.
Okay.
You see, so I alerted the guards. Somebody also said that he also called the guards. What I wrote and so to alert them that, look, go in, we are coming. But my fear was the QRF. If they has no response, there will be problems. But thank God, we don't see why the QRF was. So it was like, from the onset, I knew we can talk about Fajara barracks because those involved were already being arrested. And I know that the information must have gone round that something is going wrong. 2, I assess the caliber of officers whom we're going to fight with.
Yes, Mr. Jata, you did your job well. You guys took over Fajara barracks
Okay.
under your command.
And we arrested some officers.
Okay.
Lieutenant them. We cut him up in a cupboard, a wardrobe. In fact, when we got him out, he was jittery. In fact, we were all laughing. Another officer also came, reported to Sabali, Sambabalde. So Sabali interrogated him. I said, look, I don't think these boys have anything to do with this.
How about Bunja Dabo?
Bunja also. Why did we get Bunja? I can't remember, but I remember that of Lieutenant Dem. We took him out of the wardrobe.
Do you recall having to call Bunja Dabo's commanding officer to inquire why Bunja was at Fajara barracks?
No. I did not do that. I did not
Do
call
you
him.
recall having to call Landing Sane
No.
to inquire where Bunja was?
I did not call Landing Sane. Landing Sane was where? At the State House.
No, Landing Sane was at Farafenye as adjutant.
Oh, then as adjutant, huh? Okay. I did not call. Why should I call those people to inquire?
Bunja gave the excuse, according to the evidence we have, that he was there. He was at Farafenye Barrack, at
Fajara.
At Fajara.
Okay.
On some official mission, and you
Like
had
what?
you had to call his commanding officer at Farafenye in order to inquire whether that was true.
Oh, okay. If that's the case, that's what we should do. Because the
did
commanding officer.
Did you in fact do it?
I can't remember.
So you don't remember?
I can't remember because the commanding officer has the right to authorize his pass.
That's right. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
And after that, what happened?
Then when it happened like that, we were a little bit over 40, a platoon plus. But no, even in fact, some came from the State House. Beyond 32 is a platoon plus, huh? Unless you hit 64. We can say platoon
the
plus.
evidence is that you were about 35 people.
Okay.
Is that
That's reasonable. That's reasonable.
That's right.
So we gathered at the entrance of Fajara barracks. That's where we assemble. If in our master parades, smaller master parades, that's where we always lined up. But then I have to come in at this point in time. I said, once there's action, there are certain issues that we follow. Security of information, security of personnel, and security of equipment. So that's what I have to follow. I told them that help us, let's see what's going on. By then they have boggled the armory, they have opened the armory. I went in, I discovered that even some of the new AK-47s were tampered with. Ammunition was littering all over. So I told the boys, help me, let's collect this. Then I went into the armory to check. But before going to the armory, then I have to leave. I went to the training school to make sure that we've not caused any damage because this talk is...
And what is the distance between the armory and the training school?
Wow, that could be almost close to 150.
Or 250?
Yes, or 250, think of it.
Or even 300?
No, not 3. If you have 3, you'll be out of that barracks from that position.
It will take you at least 10 minutes to go back and forth.
Yes. While they were picking all the empty cases and the live round, I rushed to the training school. I saw that there was no problem. Peter has confirmed there was no problem. When I came back, I was in the armory. But the state guard boys who were with us were hanging around the place. I was checking inside. I don't need anybody's help because you don't know who is. You can't trust anybody. Ammunition was just going on. So I used the guard commander, I can't remember his name. So we packed, they helped me packed some of those ammunition properly. Then finally, I called Major Anto, said, I think you better come back, come to this place. This is what happened. So we closed the door. There's a secondary entrance. They locked it up. While that was going on, that was when I had first shooting again.
You had who?
Shots. I thought it was a counter attack. So we have to rush out. I came. I saw somebody lining up some people down there. You know, I was saying it was early morning, late morning, around 9. You know, initially that's what I said. But then it is good we check out. By November, is it early morning? Do you have Saturdays or longer days to verify the time?
What matters is what you saw at the time.
Correct.
And what you perceived.
Correct. While I was going, I came running. I saw them lining up.
Around 9 a.m.
Yeah, between 8 and 9. Call it 8 and 9. Or towards 7 and 8, depending on the time. I'm not very sure. What he did was, he lined up some officers and NCOs. Among them was Lieutenant Basiru Barrow and Lieutenant Dotfal. Initially, he said he was threatening them. When I told him that, look at this family. They are all watching at you. You're threatening their people there. How can you do this? Even if you have to do this in secrecy, it's better. He said, hey. But during the course of that firing, 2 people fell. Lieutenant Basiru Barrow and Dotfal. And he said, let me let. Among those threatened were my own driver. So while we were talking, they took off. Running, you can see them running. We saw them running. He said, fire, fire, fire. But it looks as I don't know what was going on. Amount of those soldiers firing, some of them were firing down. The only casualty I saw was Basiru Barrow and Dotfal. And they left. He said to pursue them. I said, you're going into these residential areas with these boys. These boys are gone. So that's how the situation happened. I left for a whole weekend without a driver. I was moved. Then after doing that at Yundum, in my statement I missed one thing. Until when I had a testimony of one of the witnesses, it recalls. I went with my deputy to Yundum.
Mr. Jata, we would come to all that.
Okay.
Perhaps we should leave it at this for the time being.
Okay.
Let's go for lunch.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
What do you have on the menu?
We have TRRC in Bahal.
I don't have to stress myself.
Not wacha chew.
Small oil, plenty water.
Thank you very much. We please have order. Yeah. Thank you very much, Council, for that, and thank you, Mr. Jata, for your testimony. We'll continue in the afternoon. We'll break now for 1 hour, and at 2:30 we come back. Thank you all very much. Meeting is adjourned.